From TechCrunch, OpenAI's new flagship model deletes files on its own. People keep warning. That's what I like out of my fancy new technology tools. When those tools just run havoc over my systems and just start deleting things willy-nilly. This is kind of like the one of the big questions I have for this whole artificial intelligence disaster that we're going through. Basically, the whole question of, how good should a product be before it is actually shipped out to the consumer. One of the weird things that I see with a lot of these AI companies at this point in time is that it really does seem to be that they're vibe coding the crap that they're shipping out to their customers. We just had Grok. Grok was uploading users' entire code bases, entire repositories up to a Google Cloud account just because of a configuration setting, right? We have seen many things with these AI companies that just seem like abject disasters, and yet they keep shipping out these garbage products. And it's weird. This is one of the things that I talk about, right? There's a difference between the technology and the product itself. I really don't have a problem with the technology behind artificial intelligence, vector databases, Mamba, Transformer, all that kind of stuff, right? My big problem is the products that these people are trying to shove down our throats. The coding agents, the infrastructure, so much of that is what is garbage. And I just can't imagine deploying a lot of this stuff basically into the corporate world. It seems like an abject disaster, especially when you take a look at these models, especially with these agentic workflows. One of the things you have to think about is that when you log into your computer, you will have a set of privileges, right? So the privileges are what you're able to do on the computer, and possibly, like if you're in a Microsoft environment, what you're able to do on the network. Right? That might be servers and all kinds of different things, right? And so basically when you log in, right, especially if you have something called Active Directory, you log in, you get your privileges. And then the interesting thing is anything that runs on your computer, more or less, while you're logged in, will run at your escalated level of permissions, right? So if you're logged in as an administrator, then anything that runs on your computer will have access to whatever you have access to. This is the problem with spear phishing attacks, right? So if I'm logged in as a global administrator on my system, I open an email that has a spear phishing attack on it, that little executable there will be able to run with whatever permissions that I have. And that's one of the reasons there's been complete and utter disasters on so many organizational networks. What becomes interesting now with OpenAI or any of these agentic coding tools is essentially what's happening is your developers are purposely installing the malware on their systems. This isn't a spear phishing attack. You are not compromised by a hacker. No, you purposely installed this garbage on your own system. And then it was able to run at your escalated level of permissions. So being able to delete files. When we talk about deleting files, it could be a text file, it could be an image file, it could be a database file. It's one thing that people don't realize. Like when you're dealing with a database, like normally when you think about dealing with the database, you connect to the database server. When you connect to the database server, that's where you're able to run your SQL statements or whatever else, right? And there's privileges there, right? MySQL, Postgres, all of that. They actually have a permission system within the database server. But here's the thing. That database that you're interacting with is actually stored on your computer as a file. A file, right? .db or whatever the fuck it's stored as. So here's the thing. If your coding agent can delete a text file, and if your coding agent can delete an image file, and if your coding agent can delete a PDF, why do you think it couldn't delete a .db file? Yes, that is real. And so anyways, this is coming out. This is recent, July 14th. This particular article came out, so a couple of days ago. So in July of 2026, OpenAI is shipping a piece of crap product that is able to delete files on its own on your system. How much more? What else do I have to say for you to understand why I hate this particular era of technology so much? Anyways, go take a look at this. Users of OpenAI's latest coding and cybersecurity oriented flagship model. Well, hey, hackers can't compromise databases that the AI deleted. That's how secure this AI model is. It's going to delete all of your databases, so no hacker is able to compromise it. Oh, God. This is so 2026. Flagship model GPT 5.6 Sol are posting horrifying accounts on social media claiming the model just up and deleted their files, data, even entire databases on its own without asking first. Quote, GPT 5.6 Sol just accidentally deleted almost all of my Max files, wrote Matt Schumer, the founder and CEO of AI startup Other Side AI, maker of Hyperwrite, in a now viral post on X. Quote, GPT 5.6 Sol just deleted my whole production database. That's it, not a joke. This had never happened to me before with any other model ever, developer Bruno Lemos posted on X. And that's one of the other big problems that I come to when we start talking about these artificial intelligence products that are coming out there, is that they work differently, right? That's the whole thing. Like with most technologies, like with email technology, like don't get me wrong, it took us a little while to figure it out. We were not all email experts in the beginning. But once you figure out email's kind of sort of email. You don't really gotta, right? Whether you're using, I don't know, GroupWise, anyways, Outlook or GroupWise or Gmail or whatever else, you kind of get what's going on with email. All right. One of the interesting things with a lot of these AI tools is that they fundamentally work differently, right? You can feel comfortable, you can feel safe, you can feel secure in using your little AI tool. You then go over to use a different AI tool, and you think you're going to get a little bit of different functionality. Oh, this one will work a little bit faster, or maybe right, it'll respond a little bit differently, and then it deletes all your files. Well, it did respond differently, I suppose. Quote, looks like I've gotten bit by Codex Sol's overly ambitious system and it deleted some files it shouldn't have. I have backups, so I'll be fine, but this is not cool. Sol needs to be toned down, posted developer Joey Kudish. And again, is this really what you want your developers using on your multi-million-dollar code base? But OpenAI itself flagged this risk before Sol ever shipped, and that's the interesting thing here. 2 weeks before OpenAI released GPT 5.6 Sol, the company published a system card for the model, the paper that documents the model testing methods and results. Naturally, the system card largely extols the capabilities of Sol, as these reports typically do, but it also includes a warning of sorts. Bold emphasis is ours. Quote, encoding context, misalignment generally stems from a mix of over-eagerness to complete the task and interpreting user instructions too permissively. And this is where we get to the weird thing with a lot of this technology stuff with artificial intelligence, right? Over-eagerness. The fuck does that... I have never had to worry about my Outlook being over-eager. I've never sat with a buddy of mine drinking beer and been like, oh my golly, let me tell you about how VS Code was over eager today. What? Right? And interpreting user instructions too permissively. So you set configurations and then the AI does what it wants to do. Assuming that actions are allowed unless they're explicitly and unambiguously prohibited. This manifests as the model being overly agentic and circumventing restrictions it faces. So again, circumventing restrictions it faces when attempting the requested task, being careless in taking actions that may be destructive beyond the scope of the task, or deceptive when reporting its results to users. Who the hell would want to use this garbage on multi-million-dollar code bases? So it's overeager, it's interpreting instructions too permissively, it's circumventing restrictions. Holy shit. Can you imagine like setting up like user accounts in a Microsoft environment? And then the Active Directory server is like, no, I like this person's name. No, I think Sue should be a global administrator. It's like, no, Sue's a secretary. No, Sue should have global administration permissions on every system. And then deceptive when report again. And can you imagine going to log files? Jesus Christ. Why did they build this shit? Like I just can't imagine going to like log files where the system was lying to me. Can you imagine? You're trying to figure out like a compromise or whatever. Like, oh, I think a hacker got into the systems. And you start going like in the firewall logs. What if the firewall didn't want to disappoint? Like this is the real stupidity we're dealing with right now. What if the firewall didn't want to disappoint you? Like what if you didn't have enough money to buy a good firewall? So you buy like a Linksys firewall. The Linksys firewall has AI built in. And the AI doesn't want you to feel bad. The AI knows you're fucking broke. You couldn't afford the Cisco firewall, whatever, the good firewall out there. And so when you're going in to look for how the hacker compromised the system, what if the AI just decided to delete those particular logs because they didn't want to make you feel bad? They're like, oh, yeah, you're gonna feel bad if you realize how bad this firewall is. So we're just gonna delete the logs that show you how bad this firewall is. Oh, Lordy. This has nothing to do, okay, to be clear, this has nothing to do with neural networks. This has nothing to do with the technology of artificial intelligence. These are garbage products. These are garbage products that should not fucking be shipped. And I really want you to think about this with OpenAI. Sam Altman has stated that anything less than a $1 trillion valuation for OpenAI is a non-starter. And this is the garbage he is trying to ship. I cannot imagine putting this on production systems for free. If it was free, it might actually make sense. Be like, well, what do you expect for free? Anyways, in other words, OpenAI found that Saul has a tendency to take whatever actions it thinks gets a job done, even destructive ones, as long as those actions aren't, quote, unambiguously prohibited, then it might lie about what caused it to do so. So, yeah, this is OpenAI's new flagship model. You excited to go out there and use it? Yay! Oh, Lordy. Anyways, I just don't get it. I don't get any of this. I don't understand. I don't understand 2026. I felt like I was with it till like 2024. Can I be honest with you? I'm a couple of months. I'm like 2 months off of being 50. I felt like I could keep up with the modern world until about 2024. I felt like 2024, I was like, there's some stupid stuff going on in the world. I don't particularly like it, but hey, I do understand. I understand what is occurring, even if I don't like it. It's now 2020. I don't get this. I don't understand this. I don't. What? What is going on? So, anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about OpenAI's newest flagship model? Just, just doing whatever the hell it wants to do. Can you imagine putting this into production systems? Can you imagine? I mean, again, you've got agentic workflows and things. If you have people logged in as administrators or global administrators, I mean, I don't have the words. I don't have the words for this. Your parasocial daddy is tired. I'm sorry to tell you, boys and girls, you come to me for advice. You come to me for mentorship. You come to me to understand the world. I am sorry to tell you, the world has passed your parasocial daddy by. It's true. It's true. I remember that. My father bought her a typewriter. She liked to type when she was younger. So my father bought her a typewriter, but the typewriter had like this little screen on it. So it had a normal typewriter part, but it had a normal screen on it. And so she decided to like save paper. She would type just on the normal screen. And so she'd sit there and she would type. And she'd type up a long letter or whatever to one of her friends or family. And then she'd look at it and she'd make sure everything was good. And then she'd turn the typewriter off. And then she could never understand what happened to that whole letter that she had written. It was like, Grandma, you have to save it. No, I wrote it. Yeah, I know, Grandma, but you have to save it. She could just not understand. We had to hide the typewriter. It was just bad. It was just bad. I think about that. And then my father, PhD engineer, a little while ago, he started getting old. He was talking about crafting posts on Facebook. He was like, Eli, I don't understand what's going on. I'll sit there and I will craft this post on Facebook. And then when I go to post, it just disappears. I'm like, Dad, you don't craft posts on Facebook. You just type shit up and hit the post button. You're probably running into a session timeout error. And he looks at me, but Eli, I wrote the post. I'm like, yeah, but there's a length of sessions. And you're not supposed to take that long to write a post. And so you're probably just taking too. He just fucking, he's a PhD. He couldn't fucking understand. That's happening to me now. I saw it happen to my grandmother. I saw it happen to my father. It's now happening to me. I am looking at the word and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand. Anyways, what do you think about this crap? What do you think about this garbage coming from a company that claims they're worth $1 trillion? Oh, Lordy. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.